Good evening of Troy City Council. I'm Marty Baker, President. Please silence your electronic devices for the duration of the meeting. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation by Mr. Bill Twist. Please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you that we live in a great city, and just ask that you be with all those that have served. And we just ask a special blessing on all the children as school's getting ready to come out. Just protect them and watch over them as the summer events take place. And we just thank you for that, and guide us and direct us on what is best for the city. In your name, amen.
Amen.
Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Mr. Twist.
Present.
Mr. Kendall.
Here.
Mrs. Oda. Here. Mr. Swayzer.
Here.
Mr. Tremblay.
Here.
Mr. Phillips.
Here.
Mr. Clark.
Here.
Mrs. Sneed. Here. Mr. Heath.
Here.
All members of council are present.
Mr. Titterington, I believe you have a couple of introductions to make this evening.
I do. If I could ask Jeff and Ralph to come up to the podium. Start with Jeff Mons. Jeff is the water treatment plant superintendent. He has been since December 21st of 2014. This is the first opportunity we've had to introduce him to you, or I guess reintroduce him to you, since he's been with the city for a number of years. He has about 34 years of municipal water treatment and supply experience. He's been with the city of Troy since September of 2000. He has a Class 3 water supply license. He has a bachelor's from Wright State University. He was raised in and resides in Tip City and is a Tip City high school graduate. He has 4 daughters, 2 of whom have already graduated from college, 2 that are pursuing their college degrees, and as one with 3 daughters, I have to give a special blessing to Mr. Mons. But we're glad that Jeff is water treatment plant superintendent and is doing a fine job, and I'd like you to welcome him, congratulate him on his appointment as superintendent.
Which one is which?
He is the he is the gentleman in the white. I forgot we're on TV. Sorry, he is the gentleman in the white shirt. Ralph Walters, who is to his left, on April 6th became our assistant water treatment plant superintendent. Ralph was born in Troy. He is a Troy High School graduate, was in the U.S. Navy. He has been married for 25 years. He has a daughter and a son, so he's got a little balance there. He was hired by the city in 1995, has worked his way up. Most recently, he has been our lab technician, operator technician, and again was promoted to assistant on April 6th. Ralph also holds his Class 3 water supply license as well. So I'd like you to welcome both of them, congratulate them on their promotions, and wish them well. So.
Thank you, John.
I want to thank you, Mr. Titterington. Just want to say that I'm very, very honored to be appointed to this position, and we will do our best to ensure that the high standards and excellent performance of our drinking water facility are continued. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd just like to thank the City of Troy for the opportunity, and I look forward to the new challenge. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have a public hearing tonight on Ordinance 011, 2015. Mrs. Knight, would you please read that ordinance?
Ordinance number 011, 2015, ordinance changing the zoning of part of in-lot 6047 in the city of Troy, Ohio from B2 General Business District to a commercial plan development.
I now declare the public hearing open. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak in favor of this ordinance?
Hi,
Please give us your name and address.
I'm Brett Chapman, Director of Training and Operations with Casanos, 1700 East Stroop Road in Kettering, Ohio. I just wanted to show in favor of the Story Point, I believe, senior living facility that would be down the road from us. I believe it would be a positive for Troy and do well for businesses like us. Thanks.
Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mary Vernot. I'm the owner of J. and Mary's Book Center in Troy, Ohio. We've been in operations for 25 years. We've been at the current location at 1201 East Experiment Farm Road for 10 years, and Singer Properties has been our property manager, and we've just been very, very happy with them. I'm also familiar with this particular retirement community and their company. It's located directly across from my mom in Avon Lake, and she says they run an incredible facility. She said it's beautiful. They keep a high rate of attendance, and I think Troy could use this, and I think it would help my business, actually. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Alex Kolodesh, Singer Properties. I wanted to, I actually have a letter from Dr. Haryu, who's across the street from where the retirement community would go, and he wasn't able to make it tonight, but if it's okay with you, he asked me to read his letter.
Yeah, please proceed.
Okay. Dr. Hardy says, I personally would warmly welcome a retirement and long-term care facility coming to the TIF district. It is clear to me that almost all of the surrounding businesses would have a mutually beneficial relationship with Story Point. I believe their presence would bring social and economic benefit to our entire community. I'd be hard-pressed to see why anyone would be in a position or would be in opposition to such development coming to this area. Thank you, Brian Hardy. So, and these are copies of his.
Thank you.
Hello. My name is Aaron Seymour. I'm from Story Point Development, and I'd just like to say that we're very excited about this opportunity to bring a facility here to Troy. We've done a lot of research on the demand, and we see that it's a great fit for this area, and we think it's very positive. So, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the audience that wishes to speak in favor of the ordinance? Anyone that wishes to speak against the ordinance? Okay. Seeing none, I'll declare the public hearing closed. I will mention that this goes to our third reading this evening, and following that, it will go to committee. And I don't know that we have a committee meeting set yet. It's potentially going to be Monday evening. Is that correct?
Yes, Monday
Chairman?
at 6.
Okay, next Monday evening at 6 p.m. in this council chambers. The committee will meet, and there'll be, further discussion at that time. Thank you. Mrs. Knight, please read the minutes of the April 20th meeting of Troy City Council.
Minutes of Council, April 20, 2015. Committee report. Law and Ordinance Committee gave an oral report regarding notice of 2 liquor license applications. There was a discussion related to ordinance number 010, 2015. Ordinance number 010, 2015, a reappropriation ordinance, was given second reading and was adopted. Ordinance number 011, 2015, a rezoning for a parcel on Town Park Drive, was given second reading. Following various comments, council adjourned at 7:37 p.m.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
Move to accept the minutes as read.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Clark and seconded by Mr. Kendall to accept the minutes. Mrs. Knight, please call the roll.
Mr. Kendall?
Yes.
Mrs. Oda?
Yes.
Mr. Swazer?
Yes.
Mr. Tremblay?
Yes.
Mr. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Mrs. Sneed?
Yes.
Mr. Heath?
Yes.
Mr. Twist?
Yes.
The minutes are approved.
Moving on to committee reports, the Law and Ordinance Committee has a couple of liquor license applications to present. Mr. Schweizer?
Yes, Madam President, we do have two. The Ohio Division of Liquor Control has transmitted the notice of application for the new C1, C2, and D2 permits for Kroger Limited Partnership 1, DBA Kroger 984 at 731 West Market Street. Definitions and permit availability is listed below. Objections must be filed by May 29th, 2015. The Police Department has advised the city has no basis objection to the license. And the next one is the Ohio Division of Liquor Control has transmitted the notice of the transfer application for the current D51 permit from BG International, Inc., DBA The Villing Station Sports Bar and Grill, 2331 West Market Street and Patio, to the name of Horn Food Enterprises, LLC, DBA Underground Sports Bar and Grill of the same address. Objections must be filed by May 26th. The Police Department has advised that the city has no basis of objection to the license. And that's all we have.
Thank you. Are there any other committee reports to come before council? Okay. Seeing none then, we will open the meeting to citizen comments. At this time, there's a 2-minute time limit, and Mr. Livingston is our timekeeper. Does anyone in the audience have any questions or comments related to any of the agenda items this evening? If so, please come to the microphone and state your name and address before addressing council. Seeing none then, there are no resolutions this evening, and so we'll move on to the ordinances and ask Mrs. Knight to please read ordinance 011, 2015.
Ordinance number 011, 2015. Ordinance changing the zoning of part of in-lot 6047, parcel number D08056329 in the city of Troy, Ohio, from B2 General Business District to a commercial plan development. This has been recommended for approval by the Troy Planning Commission. A public hearing was held this evening, and this will be going to a committee. Third reading.
Mrs. Knight, please read ordinance 012, 2015.
Ordinance number 012, 2015, ordinance changing the zoning for part of in-lot 9891 in the city of Troy, Ohio, from AR Agricultural Residential District to R3B Single Family Residence District. This has been recommended for approval by the Troy Planning Commission. There will be a public hearing at the meeting of May 18. First reading.
Okay, so this will go to a second reading. That completes the business portion of tonight's meeting. Mrs. Knight, are there any communications or announcements?
No, they're not.
Mayor Beamish, do you have any comments for us this evening?
Well, thank you, Madam President. Obviously, many of us have already heard the great news that we are one of the America's Best Community quarterfinalists, which puts us in the running for some substantial grants down the road, and we're moving forward, and that speaks to all of us in our community of the efforts that we have here in Troy. If you have not, and I can't believe anybody has missed, the monumental sculpture, Abe Lincoln. But what I wanted to say is George Buss was remarkable as a reenactment of Abe Lincoln. Many of us had the opportunity to really get to meet him, and he could change from George Buss to Abe Lincoln just like that, and very powerful speaker. And it was wonderful to have him come to Troy from Illinois, and he spoke very favorably both yesterday's event about our quality of our community, but today he spent time in the schools, and I had some feedback from that he also said our schools are very quality schools, and that he was very pleased and impressed with the young people he met during the day. So just wanted to bring that up because he's heading back to Illinois now. Many of us all know and participate in the Peace Officer Memorial. That'll take place this Wednesday at noon. Hopefully we can all be there, or most of us can be there. And just show our care and consideration for those who have passed on in the line of duty. The next day, on Thursday, is the National Day of Prayer, and that will also be at the courthouse. And usually has been and continues to be sponsored by Troy Christian School. They will bring their entire school there, and they've invited all of us to participate in that National Day of Prayer at noon. So both of those events take place at the courthouse. I think that's pretty good news, so I'll share that with everybody, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Director of Public Service and Safety, Mr. Titterington.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of announcements for the good of the order. May 25th is Memorial Day. City offices will be closed. However, refuse recycling pickup will stay on the same schedule, so there will be no delays. You may have noticed that North Market in Troy-Urbana is open, going through a final punch list. It's substantially complete. Unfortunately for the kids, the sled hill has been smoothed out, so you should be able to go 35 again. But that project is, again, substantially complete, and it was done on time. Finally, before anyone asks, CSX is still working on several of the rail crossings. They are on their own timeline. We cannot influence that timeline except to call them daily, hourly, by the minute. But believe it or not, there is work being done, and they are slowly progressing through town. So that's all I have. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Director of Law, Mr. Livingston.
Nothing this evening, Madam President.
Thank you. City Auditor, Mr. Stickle.
I have no comments, Madam Chair.
Anyone on council have any comments?
Madam President.
Mr. Clark.
Thank you very much. I want to wish congratulations to, again, to Jeff and Ralph and their new responsibilities with the city. It's glad to see that they continue to rise within the city family. I appreciate that, and I appreciate how long they've been with the city. Congratulations to Chuck Adams, who is retiring from the police department this Friday after many years of service. And tomorrow is voting day. I would encourage all of our citizens to go out and exercise their American right to vote and make a choice. And echoing again one last thing, what the mayor had said, the officers honor the officers killed in the line of duty in Miami County. They've given their lives representing all of us and protecting our safety. So again, it's local officers who've been killed on the line of duty. So I would encourage everyone to show up at 12 noon on Courthouse Plaza. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on council have any comments? Anyone on staff have any comments? Anyone else in the audience have any comments this evening?
Good evening. Brian Kemper, 412 West Canal Street. My question is regarding this summertime and the parking lot behind the fitness center on Cherry Street. As a property owner there and having tenants that live on Cherry Street every year during the farmers market, which is one of our favorite things here in Troy. I love the farmers market. The tenants usually are required to move their cars, and a lot of times the signs are being posted later and later. Last year we had someone visiting one of our properties that never saw the sign go up, and then their vehicle was towed. So one suggestion would possibly be maybe a sign during the summer that stays up, so people that do park before those signs go up are properly notified in case it is a visitor or somebody that's not been there. That would really help, I think, in confusion on that. And the other thing too is as there are a lot of people that live on Cherry Street right there in the above apartments, above the law offices and such, the only place that they can park on Friday night is that parking lot. However, the new postings for that parking lot say that there's no overnight parking allowed. I just want to make sure that they're going to be allowed to put their vehicles in that parking lot on Friday night without being towed. That's really the only place for them to go, except for going blocks away. So I just want to see if the city council could maybe consider a sticker for the residents that would exempt them so they can do overnight parking, or during the dates of the farmers market, there could be something that allows overnight parking, and for them to be able to not have to pay that Saturday, so they can, still stay home and have their vehicle somewhat close to them. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Titterington, I saw you taking notes. Will you
We'll look
follow
into
up on that and
Yeah, we
see?
will.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else in the audience have any comments this evening? Thank you all for attending tonight's meeting. Have a safe and peace-filled week. Meeting adjourned.